Hi students, very good morning. Today we are entering into the new chapter, Structure of Atom. The second chapter is Structure of the Atom. The term atom was coined by John Dalton in 1808. In the last chapter we discussed many things about the atom. The word atom is derived from atomio, which means indivisible, indestructible. Okay, so later in 1896, electron was found. J.J. Thomson found the electron, and later Goldstein found the proton in the atom. In 1932, another particle, neutron, is also present, the neutral particle present in the atom. So all these particles are subatomic particles. So the foundation of atomic theory proposed by John Dalton is still touched. There is a big question against the atom, structure of atom. John Dalton suggested that atom is indivisible. Okay, atoms are indivisible. The finest particle of matter is atom. It is proposed by Democritus in BC 400. Also our Indian man Kanada Muni. Okay, Kanada Muni also proposed the same concept. Matter is made up of tiny particles called paramanu. Okay, it is the Sanskrit word paramanu. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about the structure of atom. Inside the atom, what happens? Where are the proton and electrons, neutrons are located in the atom? CBSE deleted the portions, discovery of electron, proton, neutron, then J.J. Thomson atomic model, Rutherford atomic model, etc. Anyhow, we should know something about the electron, its mass, charge, etc. For that, I explain these things in a brief, not in detail, in a brief. You go through the textbook to get more information. I brief only the concept of electron and proton, neutron, etc. Okay, first we discuss about the electron. As I already mentioned, electron was discovered by J.J. Thomson. The scientists conducted discharge tube experiments. I think you know that discharge tube. What is discharge tubes? A discharge tube is a glass tube which consists of two electrodes, two thin metal plates. These plates are called electrodes. So inside the inside the discharge tube, certain gases are filled. Say hydrogen. The example of gas is hydrogen. And apply a high voltage between the two electrodes. At a very low pressure and a high voltage, very low pressure, 0.0001 atm pressure, certain rays are passing from cathode to anode. What is cathode? What is anode? I think you know about the anode and cathode. The terminal which is connected to positive is called anode, and the terminal which is connected to negative is called cathode. What is anode? The terminal or the wire which is connected to positive terminal is known as anode, and the electrodes or wire which is connected to negative is called cathode. So certain rays are emitted from the cathode to anode. Okay, that's why it is called cathode rays. The rays emitted from the cathode is known as cathode rays. Okay, what are cathode rays? The rays which is emitted from the cathode to anode in a discharge tube is called cathode rays. J.J. Thomson studied the properties of cathode rays. J.J. Thomson studied the properties of cathode rays. Cathode ray travel in a straight line. Cathode ray is a material particle. It has heating effects. It is deflected in the electric field. Okay, cathode rays deflected in the electrical field. It is deflected towards the positive plate of the electric field. Okay, remember that cathode rays deflected towards the positive plate of the applied electric field. Then it also deflected in the magnetic field. Cathode rays also deflected in the magnetic field. From this, he concluded that cathode rays are negatively charged particles. Cathode rays are negatively charged. From the deflection of electric field, deflection in the electric field as well as magnetic field, J.J. Thomson concluded that cathode rays are negatively charged and gave the name electron. Okay, cathode rays, the rays emitted from the cathode give a name electron. Okay, so electron was found by, the first point is electron. Electron was found by J.J. Thomson. Remember that. J.J. Thomson in 1896. It is a negatively charged particle. Negatively charged material particle. Material particle. What is matter? You know that. Anything which occupy in the space and has mass. So electrons are material particles. And the simultaneous application of electric and magnetic field, he found the charge by mass ratio, E by M ratio. What is E by M ratio? It is charge by mass ratio. Okay, E by M ratio means charge by mass ratio. And he found the E by M ratio is equal to 1.7588 into 10 raised to 8 coulombs per gram, or is equal to 1.76. I round off into 76. Okay, 1.7588 is the correct answer. I round off into 1.76 into 10 raised to 11 coulombs per kilogram. Okay, so J.J. Thomson found the charge by mass ratio. It is shortly read as E by M ratio. Okay, so what is E by M ratio? Charge by mass ratio of electron. And he took many gases, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. So in all cases, the E by M ratio is same. J.J. Thomson took different gases. When he take different gases, the E by M ratio is same. The E by M ratio of cathode rays are same. And he concluded electrons are fundamental particles. Electrons are present in all particles or in all matter. That's he concluded. So what are the important points? Electrons are negatively charged. It is discovered by discharge tube experiment by J.J. Thomson. By the application of electric field and magnetic field, he concluded that cathode rays or electrons are negatively charged. And by the simultaneous application, okay, you can see in the textbook some simultaneous application of electrical as well as magnetic field, he found the E by M ratio of the cathode ray or of the electron. It is 1.7588 into 10 raised to 8 coulombs per gram, or it is 1.76 into 10 raised to 11 coulombs per kilogram. Okay, Are you clear? Yes. Then next is Robert Millikan oil drop experiment. In 1909, Robert Millikan he conducted the oil drop experiment to determine the charge of the electron. Okay, oil drop experiment is to determine the charge of the electron. Okay, it is explained in the textbook. You just go through it. I gave only the value of charge of electron. From the oil drop experiment, Robert Millikan found the charge of the electron. The charge of the electron, E is equal to 1.6022 into 10 raised to minus 90 coulombs. Are you clear? By the oil drop experiment, Robert Millikan found that the charge of electron is shortly written as E bar. Okay, it means electron. Charge of electron E is equal to 1.6022 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. That is the charge of the electron. So we have to found the mass of electron. From the charge and E by M ratio, we have to found the mass of electron. So the mass of electron E is equal to, how it is calculated? E divided by E by M. Okay, that is M. E and cancelled. 1 divided by 1 by M, reciprocal is M. So 1.6022 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulombs divided by 1.7588 into 10 raised to 8 coulombs per gram. That is gram inverse. Okay, so E divided by E by M ratio is the mass of the electron. It is calculated 9.109 into 10 raised to minus 28 gram. What is the mass of the electron? The mass of the electron is 9.109 into 10 raised to minus 28 gram. Or you can write that 9.11 rounded off into 9.11 into 10 raised to minus 31 kilogram. Okay, minus 31 kilogram. Gram is converted into kilogram by dividing 1000. Okay, by dividing 1000 we can convert gram into kilogram. That's why we divided this value by 1000, we get 9.11 into 10 raised to minus 31. Remember that the value is important for future calculations. When we are doing the problems, the mass of electron in kilogram. Okay, you know that the SI unit of mass is in kilogram. So 9.11 into 10 raised to minus 31 kilogram is the mass of electron. Remember that you don't study for this examination. You just understand. These portions are deleted by CBSE. Okay, anyhow you understand that how these values are arrived. For that I explain these things. Are you clear? Okay. Then we move to the proton. In 1898, okay, in 1898, Goldstein, can you write this? So electron is a fundamental particles. For different gases, the E by M ratio is same, and that's why J.J. Thomson concluded the electron is fundamental particle. Then second point is proton. Proton was found by Goldstein. in 1898. Before that, he conducted many experiments. Okay, he discovered the proton in 1898. Before that, he started the discharge tube experiment. Okay, here Goldstein took the perforated cathode. Okay, so you know what is cathode, what is anode. In a discharge tube, Goldstein took the perforated cathode. What is perforation? Making holes. So he took the cathode with small holes, and he observed that certain rays are emitted in the opposite direction of the cathode rays. Okay, cathode rays is emitted from cathode to anode. Cathode rays emitted from cathode to anode. And some other rays are emitted in the opposite direction of cathode rays. Cathode rays in the opposite direction and the radiations Goldstein conducted. And he put the name anode rays. So proton was discovered by Goldstein by anode rays. Anode rays are sometimes known as canal rays. Not read as canal rays, it is canal rays. Okay, so Goldstein found the proton by anode ray experiments. Okay, what is the cathode ray experiment? You know that. J.J. Thomson conducted many experiments. In anode ray experiment, Goldstein took perforated cathode. That is a difference. Okay, and he observed that the certain rays are emitted in the opposite direction of the cathode ray. Cathode ray is travel from cathode to anode, and anode rays is in the opposite direction. It will travel in the opposite direction, and that's why he put the name canal rays. Okay, and he also studied the properties of anode rays or canal rays. They travel in a straight line. Okay. Anode rays travel in a straight line. It is a material particle. Okay, it has some mass. It is a material particles. It is deflected in the electrical field, applied electrical field. It is deflected in the applied electrical field, and the deflection is into the negative plate. So what it means? Anode rays are positively charged. Cathode rays reflected to the negative plate of the applied electric field, and anode rays deflected towards the negative plate of the applied electric field. It means that anode rays are positively charged. Anode rays are positively charged particles, material particles. And here also it is placed in the magnetic field. Goldstein studied the magnetic field effects. Okay, the deflection is expected as the deflection of the positive particle. Anode rays deflected in the magnetic field also. From this study of properties, or from these, he concluded that anode rays are positively charged. Anode rays are positively charged. Remember that. And he take different gases. He took the different gases for the experimentation. And it observed that for anode rays, the E by M ratio is different for different gases. Remember that in the case of cathode ray, E by M ratio is same for all gases. But in the case of anode ray, the E by M ratio is different for different gases. And the largest value of E by M ratio is obtained from hydrogen gas. The largest value of E by M ratio is obtained by taking hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas eduthapolana A by M ratio largest value vanathu. From that, he calculated the mass of proton. Okay, from that he calculated the mass of proton. Okay, so remember that E by M ratio for cathode rays same for all gases. E by M ratio for anode rays are different for different gases. The largest E by M value or E by M ratio is obtained when hydrogen gas taken in the discharge tube. From that, you know that E is charged. Electron is positively charged. Electron is negatively charged. Proton is positively charged. Okay, the lightest positively charged particle is give the name proton. Positive charge ayukondaanu proton koduthu. Are you clear? The lightest positively charged particle is named as proton. From the E and E by M ratio, E value E by M ratio mass of proton kandupidichu. So mass of proton MP is equal to 1.6726 into 10 raised to minus 24 gram, or it is 1.67. Okay, rounded off into 1.67, or you can write 1.6726, no problem, into 10 raised to minus 27 kilogram. Remember these two values. Okay, when we are doing the problem, the value is important. So mass of proton is equal to 1.6726 into 10 raised to minus 27. Okay, minus 27. That's about the proton. And this is equal to the mass of hydrogen. Mass of hydrogen. Mass of proton is equal to mass of hydrogen. You check this value. What is the mass of hydrogen? As we studied in the previous chapter, is 1.67. Okay, so 1.67 into 10 raised to minus 24 gram. You remember the value in the previous chapter. So the mass of proton is equal to mass of hydrogen. That's why hydrogen is known as proton. Okay, the hydrogen is also known as proton, protium, the isotope of protium. You know that these things. Then immediately the other scientist also proposed some other particles in the atom. But in 1932, after a long period gap, okay, neutron. Then they moved to the neutron. In 1932, after 34 years nearly, proton is discovered in 1898. After a long gap, long period, neutron was found by James Chadwick. I think all these things you studied in the lower classes. James Chadwick discovered the neutron. He suggested that atom consists of neutral particles. Okay, he suggested that atom consists of neutral particles. But he took nearly 10 years to prove this idea. Okay, nearly 10 years to prove this idea. He took light elements, boron, beryllium, etc. So he bombarded, okay, I write here, he bombarded the alpha particle is helium nucleus. He bombarded the beryllium nucleus by alpha particle. He got the carbon C6 okay, C6 plus a neutral particle, chargeless particle, and that's why it gave the name neutrons. Okay, neutrons. Are you clear? Yes. So neutron was found by James Chadwick by the bombardment of alpha particle into the smaller or lightest nuclei, beryllium, boron, etc. And he also calculate the mass of the neutron. You know that neutron has no charge, so there is no charge by mass ratio. And the mass of the neutron, okay, mass of the neutron is equal to 1.6749 into 10 raised to minus 27 kilogram. Okay, what is the mass of neutron? It is 1.6749. It is nearly equal to the mass of proton. The mass of proton. So, these are the fundamental particles, subatomic particles present in the atom. Okay, these are the fundamental particles present in the atom. So, please go through the textbook. The portion was deleted from the syllabus. It is not a problem. You don't bother about it. You should go through this concept. Otherwise, you couldn't follow the dual nature of matter, Niels Bohr, atom model, etc. Only for that we discussed these things. Tomorrow we will discuss more concepts about the atom. Thank you.